jump into it. So this week is he's one of those people again. All right, so we seem to be at a point now where we're changing characters, races, genders, all this other kind of stuff.
Yep.
Last week we talked about a female Silver Surfer. Makes
Right.
no sense. We got a black Nick Fury. We had a black Firestorm. You changed the culture of Namor, which I think is ridiculous. So, and the reason I think that this stuff is ridiculous is because there's so many um, characters in the MCU and the DCU that they haven't explored yet, which is the whole purpose of this hidden gem
Right.
feature. Um, there's so many characters that can be brought up that are female in other cultures that they don't need to change the major players,
Hmm.
right? And this person is one of them. So this week's hidden gem is Sunspot. He is Brazilian. His father was, they call him Afro Brazilian, meaning a black Brazilian,
Right.
right? And his mother was white American.
Okay.
His father is now deceased in the comics, but he's also from, so not only is he Brazilian, but he's from money.
Okay.
So they described him as like the Brazilian Bruce Wayne when it comes to the money,
Gotcha.
right? But he's also kind of like Superman in that his power set, he absorbs solar energy. Matter of
Okay.
fact, not just solar energy. He can absorb many types of light energy.
Yeah.
You know, not from just all stars are suns basically.
Right.
So let's just go with that. So like Superman, he absorbs power from the sun, and the more he absorbs, the stronger he gets.
Yep.
So he's got the power set. He's got the money. Matter of fact, the money is that he was able to buy out Advanced Idea Mechanics, AIM, in
Yeah.
the comic books. So that's a lot. So that's billionaire status, right?
So he bought AIM.
He bought the AIM industry.
Where is their money from?
Well, they're a criminal organization, so they
Okay.
so they buy and
No,
steal
I'm saying
technology.
not AIM. Sorry, Sunspot. Where is his family's money from?
I didn't get into it, but it's like it's like inherited money.
Okay.
So some corporation that his father and his family had developed before then. So he was born into money, and then he
Got it.
inherited the company from his family.
Okay. So really, I mean, real Bruce Wayne, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So his power set, he's average height, blah blah blah, but so day to day, even in his human form, he's absorbing energy, right? But he has this ability to go like completely black, right? So
Yeah.
it's like a corona effect.
Okay.
His skin and everything around him just turns completely black, except for his eyes, which are white.
Yeah.
And in that form, he's able to absorb even more energy, right? And he can use this energy to fly, to enhance his strength. He's at the 50-ton level.
Okay.
He can shoot energy out of his hands. So and besides that, even before his power set, right? He was trained by Wolverine and other mutants.
Yeah.
He's been in combat with the likes of Captain America, Black Panther. So even before his power set, I mean, he's a pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
His fighting skills and things like that. So this is one of those guys where, I mean, again, he could show up anywhere. He's obviously had.
He's a mutant, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
so he was born with the powers.
Yeah, exactly. He was born with the powers, but they didn't manifest themselves. Actually, it's funny. It's not funny, but his powers manifested at a football game because he was into sports as a
Okay.
kid, right?
Yeah.
And it manifested on the football field, so in front of like everybody.
Wow.
So, so this kid, but I mean, he was part of the New Mutants,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's different variants of of him in not in the MCU, but in the comics.
Yeah.
He, because of his powers, he aged, and as he got older, he got more powerful, things like that. But this guy, this would be a perfect. He's not so powerful that his power set couldn't be portrayed in a movie even.
Right.
But I definitely think that he should get some kind of screen time or some kind of something.
Well, he was in Days of Future Past. So remember you talked about X-Men First Class earlier.
Yep.
I think that was the second movie, and that was when Wolverine was or Hugh Jackman was prime Wolverine.
Yep.
If you remember, he was sent back in the past, and he woke up. Remember the scene where he wakes up in the waterbed?
Yep.
And he's got the bone claws,
Yep.
and they shoot him up. Dude, that was the biggest and best Hugh Jackman's ever looked. And to your point, he don't look like that now, and that's why there's sleeves on the Wolverine costume. But hey, we're not hating. I'm just
we're not hating.
saying,
Just saying,
dude, I don't look like that either. I'm not confused, but I'm
Right.
also. I mean, well, y'all saw my Wolverine costume. But anyways, you know how in that movie Days of Future Past, the future scenes is like that, apocalyptic New York or wherever they are, and the X-Men are fighting the Sentinels, and they continue to do that kind of time loop where they go back and forth. Well, Sunspot was one of the X-Men there. But you only knew if you knew. Like, I don't think they said his name once. He kind of had a similar power set. He looked like, he looked like a mixed individual. I actually think the actor was Mexican, maybe, who played them, who played him. So, to play off of that Brazilian, black and white mix. I mean, so it looked the part per se, but you knew nothing about him.
Right.
But you did get to see that power where you're talking about. He would absorb power and shoot it back at the Sentinels or whatnot.
Right.
But that's the only spot that we've seen him in.
Yeah.
And I've seen him in some like I think he's in a Secret Invasion comic. And I don't know if he's in Civil War or not. He might be, but he's always been just like a side character that I never knew much about outside of that's his name, and he's like shooting shit at people.
Right. But again, a travesty because this is a very powerful character.
Yeah.
Not just a powerful mutant, but a powerful potential character that again can show up in any movie, any MCU movie, or any place, and even if they did something like, he showed up as the billionaire that he is.
Yeah.
That would be like a cool segue into something that he could then take into something further. So, completely underrated. We don't need to make a version of him, a female version of him.
Right.
We don't need to, we just bring the character out.
Absolutely.
This is, again, another one of those characters that have been just, tucked away in a closet somewhere. But I think would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and dude, I've seen in the comic where he's all black.
Yep.
Then we're talking blacked out.
Right.
And he has like little spots of fire.
Right.
And then the eyes are white with usually the yellow suit.
Right.
It's a badass looking character.
Yeah, he is. Also that power because he's constantly absorbing this solar radiation.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to eat, so he's self-sustaining.
So you don't have to stop and get food out the vending machine when he's saving the babies falling from the building?
No, not at all.
Nice.
None of that Flash stuff.
Nice. But yeah, dude, this is one I agree. And this is what excites me about the MCU, bringing the X-Men into the MCU. Because then it opens up the table for characters like this. Right. Because he was an X-Men at times, right? He was the X-Force, I think, as well?
X-Force.
Yep. And then I even read he was in some Avengers comics as well too. I don't know if he was an Avenger or not, but everyone's an Avenger, right?
Well, he's had so many kind of associations. He was associated with I forget what it was, but like it was like with criminal elements, as well as the superhero elements.
Yeah, I read something about the Hellfire Club.
Yeah, exactly.
He was in that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And it was a New Mutants comic as well, but. Yeah, and this guy, they created in 1982, so he's been around.
Oh yeah,
been around, dude. He's older than me.
So and that's what I don't understand about DCU, MCU.
Yeah,
it's like they spend so much time respinning. How many Spider-Mans have we had? How many Batmans have we had? How many Supermans have we had? But then you don't hear about these type of characters. Why don't we hear about these type of characters? Who knows?
Right.
But they're there. I think they would make amazing movies, done correctly, not by Waititi, but
right.
I think this character would be the MCU would benefit from having a character like this.
Yeah, and even you mentioned AIM, right? Yeah. That's also an organization that we've not seen portrayed right on screen. Right. Like the only movie I looked it up, the only movie that AIM is in is Iron Man 3. And they're the government-funded agency that builds that extremist or whatnot, like they're or government-sanctioned. privately funded think tank. And Aldrin Killian, or Aldrich Killian, the main villain, is the one who started. So a very different take than like the comics.
Right.
And it was kind of there and gone. But in the comics, AIM's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're one of those super secret organizations. I think their thing is tech and other sciences and stuff. And they'll get it by any means necessary.
Yeah. So that's I wish I'd like to see that portrayed correct on screen. But to your point, and this when we say, so we did get a lot of shit about our Silver Surfer take, and it's like it's not about I don't care if there's female characters everywhere,
right?
As long as it makes sense. Right. And our point is for comic book stuff, like they changed characters, and like the Little Mermaid, they had Haley Bailey who's black as Little Mermaid, and half the country lost their shit because a mermaid. Like, dude, I have no issue with that at all.
Right.
I think her voice was great. I think she looks great as Little Mermaid. I have no issue with that. My issue is when we're talking a comic universe. Right. Like, there's not countless Disney characters that you can just pull from like this database and go, oh, we have Brazilian, we have it. They have to create them. That's different. Right. They're already created. Yep. They're there. There's plenty, so we need something with strong females. There's plenty of strong female characters. Right. We don't have to take one that's always male, switch it to female, or vice versa. Right. We love Mystique. Let's make it a dude. Why? Keep Mystique a female. Right. We're good. Let's make Professor X female. Let's not. Yeah. Like for race stuff, they're there.
Exactly.
Find the one, pull them out. There's Native American characters. There's Asian. There's Indian. There's American, Canadian, Hispanic. They're there.
Yep. Pick one. Yep. Pick a race, creed, color, gender, size, whatever. They're there.
And you can't use the excuse, well, that's not a popular character. Dude, a lot of these characters, like Iron Man. Iron Man was not top tier popular. Right. MCU helped make him that, right? Spider-Man, you can argue, probably one of the most popular characters ever. Batman, sure. But, I mean, Aquaman?
Right. So they become popular by presenting them and letting the public decide whether they're popular or not. I mean, and there is something about, if you keep putting people in front of, characters in front of people, they will become popular or not. But at least, put them in front of people. And they do such a poor job of putting they got all these comic book characters. A lot of people don't read comics, but they go to movies. Right. So they're actually, cutting their own foot off by not presenting these characters like this.
Yep. And try to walk after you cut your own foot off. Right. Can't do it. Nope. All right. Nice job. Another hidden gem. Dude, I'm excited about the Christmas one now. So you can't let me down, because I asked a few weeks, we were joking. You said, thank God there wasn't a Thanksgiving character.
Thanksgiving man or whatever.
Yeah, fucking turkey guy. Because you had Hobgoblin for Halloween. So you set the bar high, dude.
Well, Thanksgiving is again, it's like a speed bump, as far as the holidays are concerned. So there is no goblin guy. Right. Goblin, not, Halloween goblin, but turkey goblin.
Turkey, yeah.
So thank God there's no, Thanksgiving man or whatever it is, but there's definitely Christmas characters.
All right, so we got a couple weeks left.